know, reading may be fundamental, but for some, it is a real struggle.
But now there's a brand new way of teaching, and it is catching on. Carolyn Clifford is here to explain more. Good evening.
Good evening to both of you. A woman from Flushing whose own daughter struggled with reading has created a new way of teaching people to read. Even MSU basketball coach Tom Izzo, whose 11-year-old son was tutored in the method, swears by it. We're going to show you how it works in tonight's Detroit 2020 report.
So I want to show you, if you're wondering, how you fix this.
Here in this classroom at the Global Educational Excellence Center in Ann Arbor, these teachers and administrators have come to learn the reading magic delivered by Nora Chabazi, a veteran nurse turned reading teacher extraordinaire.
What we're going to do is we're going to underline what spellings that she has incorrect. So we're going to underline this was spelling.
Since 1999, Nora has been sharing her wisdom about her own method of teaching reading called EBLI, which stands for Evidence-Based Literacy Instruction. It's based on 3 skills readers must have, according to Nora. Knowing 1, 2, 3, or 4 letters can spell a sound. Every sound can be spelled in different ways, and letters have many sounds.
Say as you write what? What's next on a way?
A.
Yep. Say as you write A.
A.
Beautiful.
EBLI was created by Nora after her daughter, who was a gifted student in math, had difficulty reading in 2nd grade.
It's desperation. You know, any parent understands that if their child is a struggler. And, you know, 15 years later, I could cry about it because it's just, you know, it's still like, oh. But, so you just want to help them. And it took me 3 hours to teach her. 3 hours she was reading chapter books.
This 2nd grade teacher in Detroit understands that frustration. How many of your kids do you find struggle in reading, especially in Detroit?
Most, I would say probably 80%. And we have a high immigrant population. 50% of our students are from another country.
Nora's other daughter, Hannah Shabazi, who had no trouble with reading,
say ch. How many for E?
teaches EBLI.
Everything else I'm going to show you is a pattern or a tendency.
We caught up as she was working with this adult learner.
So just right now, what are your ears here first? And
Nora says most people, whether child or adult, educated or not, can learn how to read within 12 hours of EBLI training. And to date, the EBLI method has been taught to thousands of teachers really across the country, and more than 3,000 teachers, most here in Michigan, have been trained by Chabazi. And Chabazi's daughter, who struggled with reading back in 2nd grade, graduated from the honors program at Oakland University and now is working in Chicago in marketing and doing wonderful. And she doesn't just teach young kids. I mean, she teaches, someone as old as 80.
Executives, you were saying.
Exactly. Executives who've always struggled in reading, she goes back and
it's one of those things where maybe you're too embarrassed to admit that you're not so good at reading, but here it is that it actually improves.
In a matter
of
hours. Absolutely.
Everyone can afford a day, and her passion, the tears, says it all.